Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. We're here for Censorship and Creativity, a conversation about Cuban arts today. I have the pleasure of interviewing two incredible Cuban artists. We have Roberto Poveda and Juan Carlos Cremata Malberti.
Hi. Yo soy Roberto.
I'm Juan Carlos.
Yeah, Roberto, Juan Carlos.
But I can be Roberto.
I can be Juan Carlos. Juan Roberto. Roberto Carlos.
Roberto Carlos.
Just to get you guys really confused. Try to say that back. All right.
But I don't think.
But I do act.
Okay.
So Juan Carlos Cremata Malberti is a Cuban film director. He's most known for his 2005 film Viva Cuba, which won prizes at international film festivals around the world, including the Best Children's Film Award at Cannes. He studied at the International School of Cinema and TV in San Antonio de los Baños in Cuba, and he taught editing and directing at the University of Buenos Aires, and he was a Guggenheim Fellow here in New York back in the day. His work reflects the impact of immigration in Cuba. His first film, Nada or Nada Más, is about a woman who gets a visa to the United States and the characters that she meets as she is waiting. Last year, Juan Carlos' staging of Eugene Ionesco's Exit the King was performed in Cuba, known there as El Rey se muere, and it was censored. The play tells the story of a king who has been in power for hundreds of years and refuses to give up said power.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Might sound a little
knows a
familiar
lot.
to you guys. Yeah. Roberto Poveda is a musician whose musical journey has taken him from Cuba to Colombia to Miami, finally here to New York. He was an important figure in Cuba's Nueva Trova Cubana movement in the 80s. He spent time writing, singing, acting in musical theater and television in Colombia, produced a catalog of over 100 songs while in Miami. His music is recognized for being both understated, having smooth sounds, and also having humorous, profound, playful lyrics. He is first and foremost a trovador, and his music has influences from bolero, salsa, rumba, samba, hip hop, and jazz. Yeah.
Yes.
Even jazz. And he presents a bi-monthly concert called the Troubadour of Brooklyn. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, great. So thank you guys for being here.
For you.
Oh, this is for me. The Troubadour of Brooklyn. So I'm going to start with you, Juan Carlos, if that's
Yes.
okay.
Please, could you speak slowly? My English is not so well.
I can speak slowly, and you
Okay.
can combine English, Spanish, Spanglish,
that's good. That's perfect.
and we will do our best to translate
There is
for
no
those.
censorship here. Then.
There is no
That's
censorship here. That's true. So our panel tonight, though, is about censorship, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping you can talk a little bit about El Rey se muere and
Yeah.
tell people what happened.
I don't know. I was doing my job, and the actors were playing. It seems that somebody was not doing its job, and I mean because we were rehearsing for a week later, and we opened the show a week later. It was a coincidence that we opened 4th of July, and all the North American embassy, the people from the embassy were there. But I never expected to be censored. It was a surprise for me, even if I know that censorship exists. But I was surfing all the time or negotiating about the possibilities to say something or not in the condition of Cuba. Then I truly believe that in that negotiation, you always have to increase the point and to make the point high to continue the discussion. Then I know that exists. I knew it that exists a play by Ionesco, Exit the King, and I say this is extraordinary because the play talk about the resistance to change. But unfortunately, they saw there a joke with Fidel Castro, which was not true and was true at the same time, because we were talking about a king that decide one day that he don't want to die, and it's very funny. I knew it that exists the same problem with the same plate in different places, like Chile with Pinochet, like in Argentina with Videla, and even in Paris, it's a very toxic play, it seems. But I never expected, in fact, there were many friends of mine that I say, don't go to the first show, try to go to the last show because it will be better. We are nervous in the beginning. And I never expected to be canceled. It was a surprise for me. Even I'm a filmmaker. If I wanted to make something wrong, I mean, if I wanted to enter in an argument or to make problems, I were shooting the play and then sending to many people through the packet. You know, in Cuba, piracy is legal, and we use something that is called the packet, that is our internet. It's something that is passing from information with memory flash, with hard drive, and I were shooting the plays to do something, but I never expected. It was a surprise for me. But at the end, I think that censorship make more. It's more painful for the people who make the censorship than for me. I mean, I don't have to thank censorship, but thanks to this censorship, I'm here right now.
All publicity is good
in
publicity.
fact, I'm sending now through Facebook photos to my censors people, saying, hello, I'm here. I really thanks that you censor my play, because now I'm in New York, and it's okay. But anyway, even if we laugh, it's a big problem in Cuba. We have several examples in the whole history, not only in theater, in music, in film. I was having many problems with censorship, but I was avoiding those problems, trying to use like Shakespeare to talk about something that is very dirty in the King of Denmark. But someday I say, let's not talk about the King of Denmark. Let's talk about Cuba. We have to talk directly to the people. And it seems that I was receiving really good.
And you said that you were surprised that the play was censored.
Yeah, because I use the sense of humor to talk about the reality. I use comedy, and it seems that the people who make censorship, they don't have sense of humor, and or we don't have the same at the end.
It was not that funny.
And yeah, but in fact, I was trying to avoid in all the rehearsal the comparison with Fidel Castro. The principal character, the king, he was a very old actor, and he was trying to use as a reference Louis de Funès, a famous French actor. And when they call me and they say, oh, you are making joke about Fidel, I say, no, the only comparison is that the actor is old and Fidel is old. That is the same thing, but even I was trying to avoid also to use a young actor for the same role. And they say, oh, no, you have to, you are making fun and it's not good, Fidel is dying. I say, yeah, but it's not my problem. That I only wanted to make a play. I only wanted to offer the people to see a play of UNESCO's play that is very important and is very well known in the rest of the world. But it happens.
But you were somewhat aware that what you were doing was risky, yeah?
I knew that I'm as an artist. I like to provoke polemics. I'm not that I'm alternative. I'm iconoclast. I'm irreverent. This is part of my life. In a personal, in fact, somebody told me that I have to dress in black today, but I'm sorry. I always dress in white. And then I always swim against the current, you know. It seems that now I shock with a stone in the river, but yeah, it was a risky. It's always a risk to talk about something in Cuba, but sometimes people are allowed, sometimes not, and they think that they told me at the end, you can play with the chains, but not with the monkey. I don't know if they were talking about Fidel. Then I say, but what are you talking about? I was making Exit the King. I don't.
Were you worried about your career at all after this happened?
I was testing I cannot make more theater in Cuba they own the theater. It's very impossible, practically impossible, to continue making theater in Cuba, because maybe I can do another play in my room, in my apartment, but I will have only 3 people like audience. This is good. This is an experience that Victor Varela made in the 80s, but it's I don't want to fight against police. I don't want that. Then I continued trying to make my career as a filmmaker, and I made tasting the force with the government, and I made a short film and a feature film independently. Alternative. I hope to finish those films. It's already all those films are already shooted, but I want to continue and I want to finish to edit. In fact, this is an ad. If somebody knows a producer who can help me to finish those films, it will be great for me. But I have to find a new way to continue my career. I don't know how to do nothing else. I'm a very bad cooker, and I'm a very bad plumber. I'm a very bad carpenter. I'm an artist. Then, if I'm finished working in a supermarket, I will do it my job in an artistic way, very beautiful. But I have to continue. I don't know. I don't. I'm a very positive person, and I don't think that is the end of my career. It's a new beginning. Nice. Then it's okay.
So, Roberto, I want to ask you about, after growing up in Cuba and then leaving for Bogota, why did you make the move?
Why did I make the move to Bogota?
Yeah.
Well, it was another time, right? It was the time when was the end of the 80s. I left Cuba 1989. I was told that in order for me to become successful in Cuba, that you had to make a line, la cola. You had to go to the back of the line and just wait. We'll call you. We'll give you a chance. So, and I was very young, and I didn't want to wait. No one can tell me when I'm going to be able to record my albums, to travel around the world. And I left in a peaceful way. So I can't say I can't compare myself with the situation of Juan Carlos, because no one forced me physically or ideologically, but in certain way they asked me to look for other alternatives. That's why I went to Bogota. I ended in Bogota, yeah.
How do you think leaving affected your art?
Well, a lot. I remember when I was in Bogota, which is a very different city from Havana. It's very cold, it's humid. It's 2,000 feet above the ground, and people is different, They're not funny as
Thank you.
Cubanos, and they don't make that many jokes, and then they don't understand your jokes, and they take it personal. So it was kind of a weird place for me to begin. But then little by little, I started getting together, and then suddenly I found my way to go to Miami. It was through a publishing deal I got with this publisher company. It was like I came to America like if I was going to play in the big league, in the baseball player, hired for this team to play. So, once again, I didn't feel like I was supposed to, I was being censored, but working with the publisher is it's a tricky way. They want you to write particular songs that I wasn't able. I didn't want to write those mellow, I don't want to give more details, but songs that are not the type of songs I want to write. I want to write songs more deep into your feelings, more truly connected to your experience, instead of trying to flourish around with nonsense.
When do you feel that you truly developed your style?
I haven't yet.
Still a work in progress?
It's still a work in progress.
How did Miami sort of help nurture your work in progress?
Well, Miami helped me because I got to Miami, same as Juan Carlos. That's the only thing I knew how to do. I just knew how to do songs. Once this publishing deal ended, I found myself driving a pizza car, driving, going to work in the construction, labors that I'm very proud of have done it because that, gave me more strength and I started learning more about myself. So then I went to college and then started developing another more a mind more in the sense that will connect with this society, which you need to go to college, you need to have a degree, although it's not a guarantee for a job, but at least you try. So that's what I did. I went to college just for undergrad in music education. Then I transferred to Brooklyn College. I ended in a Bachelor of Film. It's almost filmmakers here.
Competing now.
Now competing. I'm going to write a film.
Yeah.
I have worked in 2 films.
Yeah, but I never make a song. Then I hope that next time I will sing something.
Absolutely. So yeah, censorship worked for me in a different way. I know I'm my biggest censor.
What do you mean by that?
Myself.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, because sometimes I try to be so perfect. And sometimes I try to say the proper thing and I end up saying nothing. Because I can't find the proper way to say what I want to say. So it's difficult. Having in mind that so many other people have said so many beautiful things before you. So it's a great responsibility. If you're going to open your mouth, please say something profound.
Who do you think are your biggest influences?
Well, my biggest influence are connected to Cuban music. It's a combination. I think that one of my biggest influences can be all the troubadours, traditional troubadours from Cuba, including female troubadours like Maria Teresa Vera, but also I feel like I'm very influenced by James Brown.
Wow.
Da 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 bam 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 hey hey do 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 ba do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba ba ba.
Wow. Thank you for that.
Also, you're welcome. I have more. Love songs, urban landscapes everywhere. We feel the same. Love songs, urban landscapes everywhere. We feel the same. Love songs of a distant love, love without you, songs for nobody. If you see the melody expanded into my soul, like la locura, like the Tao of my feelings about something like that.
Lovely.
Wow,
Lovely.
Thank you.
Really, very nice.
It's just a bolero. I think I'm a combination of bolero person, boleristic spirit, and also funky spirit. It's a bolero funk, it's that type of combination. That's why I feel like not only the traditional Cuban music, but also the soul, the rock and roll movement influenced me a lot, also as a musician.
Wow. So, Juan Carlos, I have a question for you about censorship in general. So, if you had your play censored and you can't do any more plays in Cuba, are you ever tempted to just leave and do work elsewhere?
I'm trying to get some connections to continue my career as a filmmaker. And as a director of theater, of course, also I'm trying to make some connection, maybe here or in some another part to make theater. But I really hope to back to Cuba one day and to continue doing my job there. Because it's my natural audience. I mean, I would like to have more audience as I can, but it's very important for me. They understand me more than another one, and I hope. Let's see what happens.
But
Life is not what you prepare; it's what happens at the end.
That's true. Much like Roberto, though, you've been all over the world. You've been to Buenos Aires. You've been here.
Yeah.
Do you think that being elsewhere has affected your work?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
No.
I'm an artist. I love to travel. And every travel, it's an experience for me as an artist.
But
then
you said if it affected your job.
Has it influenced your work?
Influenced.
Yeah.
You have a,
I have influence, yeah, definitely. But because of traveling, you mean?
Yeah,
definitely. You meet another artist, you meet another ways to see life, and there is not only one answer for one phenomenon in the world. There's so many answers as audience, as people exist. Then you have to learn about that. You have to learn that the other person is a universe, and it's a culture, it's a nation. Then for me, that it was not a bad influence, it was very good one. During the time I was in Buenos Aires, for example, I had the chance to be very close with a very important choreographer, Argentinian choreographer called Oscar Araiz. And it was very important for me because I have to confess, I make cinema and theater because I'm a frustrated choreographer. My mother is a choreographer, and to see dance, it's very, very important for me. Then every time I'm going to another place, I'm trying to connect with the cultural life and trying to bring that to Cuba, which is very important because Cuba is an island. And for people, they need to know that something happened very far from the shores. I mean, they don't know that even exists another place. Then it's very important for artists to bring inside our country another words, another way to think, to open. I always also say that my profession is to open door, not to close. That is the profession of the censorship. I like to open doors, and travel is an open door.
What do you think is something that Cuban art or Cuban artists are doing now that people don't know about outside of the island?
What a difficult question. Could you make an accord for me? It's I don't know. We are trying to bring things completely new ideas, new author. As a filmmaker, as a director of theater, I was trying to introduce new author that. As Ionesco, for example. Ionesco is a very well-known actor, but my idea with Exit the King was to let the people of Cuba know that exists a play.
But someone introduced Ionesco before, right?
Yeah, definitely, but not Exit the King.
But the idea, listening to the conversation, I had to intervene. I think Cuban people, more than ever, they need an infusion of art.
Yeah, that's true.
Because what you can see, what you see through the news and conversation with other people, is the society is kind of decomposing in a way no one's appreciate art anymore. So it's just what is the everyday life, how you can survive, how you can bring food to your table. So it's difficult to make art when you don't have your stomach full, you know.
Yeah, but it's urgent too. It's urgent too because it's so difficult to the condition of life is so difficult that you need to create another life also. Because of that, I think this is my opinion. In my opinion, it's a way that in Cuba exists so many artists because we need art to survive.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, we've been talking about how censorship sort of hinders art, but what are ways that you guys think that censorship can, in a way, foster or propel art?
Absolutely. I mean, when you are censored in a place, that will open your doors in another place. I mean, be censored in one way can open you to another audiences. But it's not a guarantee of success, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
And
I agree
also-
with you.
Yeah, and also I think again, censorship is. I remember. I don't want to say names, but I remember people in Cuba writing songs. Earlier, you mentioned even in music. I think in music is not no one had been censored through music because it's so. I mean, it's so difficult to say something that people will understand differently. I remember when Carlos Varela wrote songs that were written just for the purpose of bringing attention. So sometimes censorship can act as propelling someone who wants it to do it in purpose, you know, just to propel your career or your idea.
So one thing we talk about a lot on Latino USA is about identity and sort of this idea of a Latino identity versus, you know, a specific identity to a country. Do you guys consider yourselves Cuban artists? Do you consider yourselves international artists, Latino artists? Like, how do you define?
I'm a human being. I'm a citizen of the world. I mean, even if I believe in my culture and I truly believe that I'm a Cuban, I want to know about the rest of the people. Then I'm exhausted of nationalisms, of chauvinisms.
I'm the artist of my house.
Yeah. I have my own anthem. I have my own geography. I have my own story. Then my own nation. But I believe in my culture. I believe that we are in some way different, but in many ways we are practically the same.
Yeah,
Then I don't want to continue saying, oh, this is a German, this is a... No. This is a human being. This is somebody who feels, who sing, who eat, who... there's another words that I cannot use here. But who make the same like the rest of the world. Then... But what it's when I saw him right now, I tell him, oh, I know you are Cuban. And he told me, yeah, I know you too, you are Cuban. And then we recognize each other because we have something similar in culture. But he can be also Puerto Rican. He can be also, I don't know if it's very difficult for you to be a Swedish.
Yeah,
but maybe, you know, who knows?
You're world.
You don't know who I am. Let me tell you.
You're a worldly citizen.
Who knows who I am?
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows?
No, the thing is also Latin American. Yeah, I feel like I'm comprising a Latin American environment and world environment. When you live in New York City, when you live in Brooklyn, yes, you can be the artist of your house. You can be the artist of 11 to 18 with my zip code. Yeah, but also you can be international. But that feeling doesn't take you away from who you are. I mean, I'm just a simple guy who likes to write songs, and I live in that address in Brooklyn, New York, but I live happily, and este cuento se ha acabado.
Yeah,
Tata
cuenta cuento.
you know?
C'est fini.
So, c'est fini. But yes, definitely being an artist take you to those places that you feel like, wow, it's an honor to be Latino. When you got to some of those countries that they just waiting for you to play, to start, oh, the sabor, the flavor, you know. So that's important. It's important to feel that, you know. Sometimes you feel you're more Latino when you are in another audience, when you're in an audience that they're not familiar with that culture. You know?
But there's still a Cuban heart.
Always.
100 years.
Always, yeah.
360 days per year.
Yeah.
24 hours a day.
Roberto
25
Poveda.
Cubano.
for me.
Cubanos.
Yeah.
Roberto Poveda, Juan Carlos Cremata Malberti, muchas gracias. Thank you so much for being here.
Gracias, Nadia.
Really
Yeah,
appreciate
gracias
it.
a usted.
We're going to break for a little bit for a short intermission while we prep the stage, and then we're going to come back with Los Hacheros.
Gracias.